Police officers enjoy a mixed reputation. Some people love them, some people hate them. Typically, if you hate them, there's a reason. Same thing for the love. So we are going to find some police officer weird on today's episode of 5 Weird Things. Welcome to the channel. First things first, please like, subscribe, share the video and the channel. I could really use the help. Now, I've always been lucky enough to steer clear of the police. Didn't break the law that much, never got into drugs. Now, I had a Facebook acquaintance, didn't really know him that well, but he adamantly hated the police. And when I finally dug into it a bit and find out why they would ever treat him so horribly, according to him, he finally fessed up that he was a drug dealer back in the day and was continually breaking the law. But that's no reason. Well, it's kind of like cooking your own dinner and complaining about the food. All right, let's get into it. Now, first, the things we all need to know. The police are a body of officers representing the civil authority of government. Police typically are responsible for maintaining public order and safety, enforcing the law, preventing, detecting, and investigating criminal activities. These functions are known as policing. Police are also entrusted with various licensing and regulatory activities. Now, the police officer workforce in the United States in 2022 was 849,915 people. That's a lot of cops. Everybody got that? Good. Weird thing number 5. Shootouts are really rare. You see them in the movies all day long, but in reality, rarely happens. Roughly 73% of all police officers in the USA retire never having fired their weapons in the line of duty. Now, for many police officers, their firearm is more like an accessory than a tool. They spend more time wiping coffee stains off their uniform than drawing the weapon. Some might even say the holster gets more action than the gun itself. While people imagine cops pulling their weapons as often as they pull donuts out of the break room box, the truth is, most officers could count on one hand how many times they've actually needed to draw their gun. The biggest draw challenge? Probably remembering where they left their pen. Contrary to popular action movies, most officers' arsenals include a trusty pen, a notepad, and a talent for getting people to talk it out. Forget the Wild West showdowns. It's more like a never-ending episode of Dr. Phil with paperwork and a badge. Surprisingly, many officers end up using their finger guns to lighten the mood during training sessions or community events than their real firearms. If pointing fingers counted as drawing their weapons, they'd all be sharpshooters by now. Since many officers rarely draw their firearms in real life, they might actually get more practice from a virtual one at home, hunting digital zombies or World War II soldiers than drawing their real weapons on duty. So when it comes to keeping their trigger finger ready, Call of Duty might just be their secret training tool. Weird thing number 4, the job and their health. Police officers often work rotating shifts, which can disrupt their circadian rhythms and lead to chronic sleep problems. This lack of regular sleep isn't just exhausting, it also increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Studies have shown that the stress and irregular hours make officers more prone to high blood pressure, heart disease, and other heart-related issues. Officers are trained to be alert for potential threats, a heightened state called hypervigilance. And while this is essential to their safety, it becomes exhausting over time, making it hard for them to relax even off duty. This constant alertness can lead to long-term stress, anxiety, and sleep disturbances, making it difficult to feel safe in everyday situations. The physical demands of policing, whether from carrying heavy gear, engaging in foot pursuits, or struggling with suspects, leads to high instances of musculoskeletal injuries. Back, knee, and shoulder injuries are very common, often becoming chronic due to the repetitive nature of these physical activities and the heavy gear they must wear daily. While mental health services for officers are becoming much more common, there is still lingering stigma around the idea of seeking help. Many officers hesitate to address issues like PTSD, anxiety, or depression due to fears it may impact their career. This delay in treatment can worsen the symptoms, affecting both their work and personal lives over time. The high-stress nature of the job, combined with unpredictable hours and limited access to healthy food options on shifts, often increases the risk of metabolic issues like obesity, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. Combined with high stress, these conditions can lead to a vicious cycle that further impacts physical and mental health, affecting job performance and overall quality of life. Police work is rewarding yet extremely demanding, and its physical and psychological effects highlight the need for strong support systems and resources to help officers maintain their health and well-being. Weird thing number 3, the real job. Forget the high-speed chases and dramatic arrests. Officers spend more time filing reports than solving mysteries. Some reports indicate as high as 50% of their shift is all paperwork. Some say they could write a novel with all the paperwork they do. It's basically CSI, the Microsoft Word edition, every day. From I swear it was just one beer to my grandma is having an emergency haircut appointment, officers have heard it all. They're like human lie detectors when it comes to spotting fishy excuses. Now, if you watch one episode of the TV show Cops, you ask, well, why do they ask such dumb questions like that? And then you watch a couple dozen shows and you realize, oh, because it's the easiest way to figure out the lie. Got it. Police officers are basically part-time detectives for lost items. Wallet left at the park, keys lost in the river, they've heard it all, and somehow they're expected to locate it too. If Sherlock Holmes could find your phone at the gym, he'd be a cop. Officers are unexpectedly also animal control heroes, rescuing everything from runaway dogs to rogue raccoons. They never know if their next call will be to break up a bar fight or to coax a stubborn cat down from a tree. Some officers have ninja-level goose dodging skills by now. Is your gun real? Have you ever arrested Spider-Man? Do you eat donuts every day? Police officers, especially at community events, often find themselves fielding these deep existential questions from kids who view them as part hero, part superhero, and part snack enthusiast. Police work has its challenges, but officers can't help but laugh at the unpredictable situations that come with the badge. It's a job where, yeah, 1 minute they're enforcing the law, and the next they're retrieving someone's pet parrot from a neighbor's roof. Weird thing number 2, the soft skills. The art of cop talk. Police training includes mastering cop talk, a language of its own, full of 10-4s and copy that. It's designed to clarify, but it also sounds like it could be dialogue from a 70s action movie. Fun fact, some officers admit they've actually used 10-4 while ordering takeout. It makes for some very confused cashiers. I actually read one report that says it allows cops to use cop talk as a way of maintaining discipline and not becoming overexcited in stressful situations. Conflict resolution, basically a crash course in parenting. Training in conflict resolution is like a masterclass in dealing with siblings who just won't get along. Officers learn everything from de-escalation tactics to active listening. After a few rounds of, "Sir, please put down the remote," role play, some officers might feel ready to handle any family Thanksgiving drama. Sensitivity training, aka don't be the reason for a meme. Sensitivity training teaches officers about cultural awareness and respectful communication. They're reminded that everyone's recording these days, so one awkward comment might just turn them into the next viral sensation. And not in a good way. You could say that they learn how to avoid becoming a GIF. Mental health response, the Zen masters of crisis calls. Mental health response training involves learning how to remain calm and patient in situations where someone else definitely isn't. Officers learn techniques to lower stress levels, though keeping their own patience while someone else repeatedly tells them, "You don't know me, man," could be called the art of Zen in law enforcement. Paperwork Precision 101. Officers are taught the holy grail of police training, filling out incident reports accurately. They learn to take a late-night noise complaint into a detailed epic of time, place, and who dropped the first beat. By the end, officers could give Shakespeare a run for his money in telling a concise story about 2 neighbors and 1 loud boombox. Police officers' non-physical training covers everything from verbal judo to the delicate art of paperwork, preparing them for the real world in ways you never even would imagine. And finally, weird thing number 1, the gear. The belts have many mysteries. The police duty belt is like a Swiss Army knife on steroids. It's packed with everything from handcuffs to pepper spray, plus a radio, flashlight, sometimes even a notepad. Now, some say if you look closely, you might even spot a spare donut. Purely for emergency morale boosts, and blood sugar reasons, of course. The radio, aka the lifeline and the gossip hotline. The police radio is essential for communication in emergencies, but when things are quiet, it also becomes the unofficial social network, where officers might share tips, gripes, and yes, the occasional cat photo. Forget Twitter, the real action is on Channel 5. Body armor. It's like wearing a hug from a concrete slab. Bulletproof vests are lifesavers, but they're also heavy, hot, and awkward. Officers get used to carrying the extra weight, but on a hot day, it's like walking around wrapped in a sauna suit. Fashion forward? Not exactly. Life-saving? Definitely. I was once in a Starbucks, and the only customers were 2 sheriffs, 2 police, and 1 airport police, all of them wearing bulletproof vests. I was feeling a little underdressed. Are we planning something, fellas? Can I get a vest, please? The flashlight, bright enough to light up a small planet. Police flashlights are not your average dollar store torches. These things are like mini suns. Drop something under the car at night? No problem. One flick of the flashlight and it's like daylight under there. It's so powerful, some officers joke they could start a local light show with it. Plus, it would also make a great makeshift billy club. The backup pen, because the first pen always disappears. No one tells you how often officers need a pen. Whether writing reports, signing tickets, or scribbling down notes, pens disappear constantly. A backup pen is crucial, and officers know how to guard it with their life, lest it vanish like every other pen before it. Some say it's the most borrowed and never returned item on the job. Police officers' gear might seem all business, but each item has a story and a little bit of humor that comes with it after carrying it all day long. Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope you liked it. Take care, keep yourself out of trouble, got it? Have yourself a great day.